Hi, I'm Bunny Cakes and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing It by Stephen King. Oh, let's see if I can get it to recognize. There we go. Um, this was a really good book. Um, I kind of feel like, though, like my opinion was tainted on it because it wasn't as scary or as thrilling as I was expecting. Um, my first and main contact with it was the old movie that starred Tim Curry, which was amazing. Tim Curry was such a good Pennywise the Clown. Um, so this book follows Pennywise and his terrorizing of a small town named Derry in Maine, and it follows both the childhoods and adulthoods of the kids that defeat Pennywise twice. They defeat him once in their childhood, and then they make a promise that if he ever comes back, that they will come back and defeat him. And he does come back, so they come back and fight him. And there are some parts that are really weird and unexpected. There's a lot of bullying, and there's some really graphic deaths. And also, there's some parts of small town life that sort of hit home if you've ever lived in a small town. They're not 100% accurate because I highly doubt any small town is going to hide and or cover up the fact that hundreds of children are going missing every year, um, and all sorts of violent crimes. But small towns are pretty good at keeping secrets, despite also being places where you can't so much as fart without everybody on the block knowing about it in 4 minutes. Um, but yeah, it was a really good book. You also see some odd connections that aren't really talked about in the original movie. I'm wondering if they'll be talked about in the new movie that's coming out in September. Um, I do know that in the new movie, Pennywise is played by Alexander. I want to say it's Alexander Skarsgård. I know I have the last name right. Um, and I've heard that they are going to go more in depth into some of the details of the book that weren't acceptable to be put on or into the movie with Tim Curry. That said, they are still cutting out some of the characters that were the core group um, of kids and adults that are in the book. I'm not sure why. Of course, they did that in the original one too, and also like in the adult section of the movie, there are characters that are alive that didn't make it in the book, so it's kind of weird, but also interesting. And I'm excited to see what they do with the new movie. I'm excited to see if Skarsgård can do even half so well as Tim Curry, because Tim Curry was amazing, and I think part of that was because I read this old interview with Tim Curry where they were asking about why he chose to do Pennywise the Clown. Because if you don't know, um, Tim Curry is absolutely terrified of clowns. There was a clause in his contract when he was filming it that they weren't allowed to have mirrors or reflective surfaces around while he was in costume. And in the interview, Tim Curry looks at the reporter and says, I played Pennywise because it was the most terrifying thing I could think of. And that's just so amazing. And it's so Tim Curry, isn't it? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that I'll be surprised and that it will be an amazing movie. But I also worry because remakes are hardly ever even half as good as the movie, and Tim Curry is so iconic as Pennywise. I just don't see anybody um, being able to reach that level ever again. But I still have hopes, like I said. I highly recommend it. It is a huge book. It's nearly 1,200 pages. Um, but they are 1,200 really good pages. Um, like I said, and earlier, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but I also think maybe I had overhyped the book in my head because I was expecting something to terrify me for years like Tim Curry did. And as good as Stephen King is, I don't think he could have written Pennywise the Clown as terrifying as Tim Curry played him. Also, interesting tidbit, he's not a clown for very long in the book. Um, the the movie makes it seem like he was a clown a lot more often and a lot longer, but he's like not really. So that was interesting. Um, but yeah, really good book. I do super highly recommend it. Um, if you can read fast, then you probably still have plenty of time to read it before it comes out in September. If you read slow, I'd get on it though. Um, I know that there is a readathon that started a few months ago, back in the beginning of the summer, that's still going on, called the Summer of It, that you might be able to participate in. Um, and yeah, it's a super good book. Hopefully, it's a super good movie. And if it's not a super good movie, I do highly suggest going back and watching the Tim Curry one because that was an awesome movie. So that's all I have for this review. And thank you for watching and keep reading.